What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a very interesting and exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because according to Italian newspaper Calciomercato, Liverpool are preparing a £50 million bid for Ademola Lookman, the former Everton player who absolutely teared up their season with Atalanta, and he scored a hat-trick in a European Cup final for the first time since 1969. So for more than 50 years, nobody has ever scored a hat-trick in a European final, which is an unusual statistic on its own. And Liverpool are heavily interested in a player who is valued around £60 million, at around £60 million by Atalanta. That's around 50 million euros. And according to Calciomercato, Liverpool are one of many Premier League clubs very interested in Ademola Lookman, and we are preparing a £50 million bid for the very versatile 26-year-old player who can play as a striker, as a right midfielder, left midfielder, right winger, left winger, centre forward, false nine, attacking midfielder, wherever you want to play Ademola Lookman in attack, he is your guy. And of course, Atalanta are determined to hold on to Lookman, but they can't offer him the wages that Liverpool or Chelsea or Manchester United, who are also interested in Lookman, can offer him. And the Calciomercato is saying that a figure of around £50 million could turn the head of Atalanta club president Antonio Percassi, having never truly got going at Everton. It still seems astonishing that Lookman became the first player to score a hat-trick in a one-off European final since 1969, and that hat-trick condemned Leverkusen to their first and only defeat in the season, and Atalanta won their first European trophy. And that wasn't an outlier, because Ademola Lookman overall had a great season. He scored 17 goals and got 10 assists in 45 matches across all competitions, and according to the statistics, Ademola Lookman ranks very highly among a series of key performance metrics when compared to other forwards in Europe's top 5 leagues. And we will take a look at the detailed metrics here. So here you can see Ademola Lookman's scouting report, where he averages 0.55 non-penalty goals per 90 minutes. So he scores once every 2 games, which is very good. He also has 3.2 shots per 90 minutes, and he has very high assists, expected non-penalty goals, plus non-penalty assists numbers. He ranks in the top 11% when it comes to assists and expected assisted goals, and also shot creating actions is 4.5, and he ranks in the top 2% when it comes to shot creating actions. Passes attempted, he ranks in the top 3% when it comes to other players who play as an attacking midfielder or winger. So these numbers are compared with other wingers and attacking midfielders in Europe's top 5 leagues. Successful take-ons 1.9, so he loves to dribble, he loves to take people on, and he also has very high touches per 90 minutes in the attacking penalty area, 6.4, which ranks him in the top 13%. But in terms of successful take-ons, it ranks in the top 6%. Progressive passes recommended is 11.1, that ranks him in the top 2%, which is really good. And even his defensive numbers are very impressive. In terms of tackles, he gets around 1 tackle per 90 minutes, which ranks him in the top 25% among other attacking players, attacking wingers. In terms of interceptions, he ranks in the top 16%, and in terms of blocks, he ranks in the top 16% as well. This is the report from Calciomercato. It was translated from Italian to English by Google, so excuse me if there are some mistakes in it, but I don't speak Italian, so I can't translate it word for word for you guys. But the newspaper is saying that Atalanta are looking to make some transfers, but they also have to work extremely hard to try and keep Lookman, Scamacca and De Ketelare. Atalanta's philosophy, however, is not to say no to irrefutable big offers. They are a selling club, basically. Even with, winning their first European trophy of Europa League, Atalanta are a selling club. They can't have the finances of Inter or Juventus or AC Milan. They can't really afford to keep these big stars that they are developing and nurturing. And Atalanta are aiming for a set price 60 million euros, just like for Cup Miners. And among other clubs, Liverpool are interested among other clubs in the Premier League. And Liverpool are willing to make an offer close to the 60 million euros that Atalanta want. And we have been scouting Atalanta and watching Atalanta games for more than a year, because we have been linked with Cup Miners, we have been linked with Lookman's teammate Ederson as well, and now it looks like we have scouted Lookman and we like what we see. But the Italian newspaper is reporting that Atalanta don't want to lose 2 or 3 big players in one summer transfer window, so they are either sell Cup Miners or they sell Ademola Lookman. They won't sell both. So I think Liverpool would do well to go in early and to try and get Ademola Lookman and try and get this deal over the line. Lookman scored 11 goals and got 8 assists in 31 games in the Serie A. He only started 58% of the games because Atalanta rotated their starting lineup quite heavily, especially the attacking players. He also played 56% of the minutes, but even though he participated in 26% of their goals, which is very impressive. His market value is around 40 million euros, but his stock is rising. And he has a very tumultuous transfer history. He started out at the Charlton Youth Academy, and then he was at Everton, where he was loaned to Leipzig, where he had a very successful spell. And then eventually Everton sold him to Leipzig, but then Leipzig loaned him to Fulham and then to Leicester. And then Leipzig sold Lookman to Atalanta for just 9.3 million euros. So Atalanta now could make a big profit on Lookman. I'm not sure if he's worth 50 million pounds, but maybe we can negotiate that price down. But his stats are absolutely fantastic. In the last 2 seasons, since he has played in the Atalanta first team, he got 17 goals and 10 assists. So that's 27 goal contributions in 45 games. And 27 goal contributions when he only played a little bit more than half of the games at Atalanta is really, really impressive. Considering that last season, the season before this one that just finished, he scored 15 goals and got 8 assists as well. And he played even fewer minutes, a lot fewer minutes than this season. He played 1,800 minutes last season, and this season 2,800 minutes. And still, his goals and assists numbers were very, very similar to this season. And then 3 seasons ago, where he scored 8 goals and got 5 assists, in 42 games in all competitions. And the previous season, so 3 seasons ago, 4 goals and 4 assists in 35 games. But it looked like he was still a developing young player. He played in the Leicester team 3 seasons ago and in the Fulham team. So these stats, the 21-22 season is for Leicester and the 2021 season is for Fulham. So those were not for Everton. You can see his full statistics for his full career. I got confused because at Leipzig he was loaned out after having a very disappointing season when he was just 22 years old. He hardly ever played in the Bundesliga. Then he was loaned out to Fulham and Leicester. So he has plenty of Premier League experience. He spent 5 seasons in the Premier League. And especially for, Fulham and Leicester, he played a lot of games. But it was that at Atalanta where he really flourished, scoring 32 goals in 77 games, which is really impressive considering that he hasn't played all the minutes at Atalanta. He played like half of the games this season and even less than half of the games last season. So I think that's a really, really exciting player, Ademola Lookman. But of course it will be up to the Liverpool scouts to determine whether Lookman is worth 50 million pounds or not. But I'm really encouraged that Liverpool are looking to sign these young, talented, electric players who have a lot of goals and assists in them. And Liverpool still are not sure about Luis Diaz's future, because Luis Diaz keeps getting linked with other clubs. And according to news outlets, the pursuit of Luis Diaz has become an obsession for Barcelona sporting director Deco, who is very keen on pushing through a prospective deal for the 27-year-old Luis Diaz, who had a pretty good game for Colombia. Colombia started off their Copa America defense with a 2-1 win. Argentina already have 2 wins from 2 games, and McAllister has played in both games. But Luis Diaz, it looks like, is maybe up for sale if somebody is willing to pay around £50 million. According to the reports, we are maybe selling for even 50 million euros. Barcelona have also explored potential moves for Kvaratskhelia, Nico Williams and Dani Olmo, but Luis Diaz is their number 1 target. And the claims are saying that Arne Slot won't stand in Luis Diaz's way if he wishes to leave Anfield. That is saying to me that Liverpool as a club decided if there is a big enough offer coming in for Luis Diaz, then we can accept it and upgrade on his position. Maybe sign a younger player. Ademola Lookman is just 1 year younger than Luis Diaz, but if we could get Nico Williams for a similar price to that what we sell Luis Diaz for, that would be an absolutely brilliant piece of business, in my opinion. What is also interesting is that Barcelona want to sell Rafinha to free up money and wages so they can pursue other players. And Al Hilal head coach Jorge Jesus identified Rafinha as his main transfer target this summer. So if Al Hilal make a big offer for Rafinha, Barcelona could replace Rafinha with Luis Diaz, and then they would have the funds to pursue Luis Diaz. If Barcelona offer around 45-50 million pounds for Luis Diaz, could Liverpool be tempted into selling? I think Luis Diaz has a lot of untapped potential, and because his parents were kidnapped last season, we shouldn't judge last season too harshly. But still, the facts, the metrics, the goals and assists say that even though Luis Diaz played the most minutes out of all the 5 players at Liverpool in attack, he scored the least amount of goals, he got the least amount of assists. And on the other hand, Mo Salah has no obvious competition on the right wing, and I'm sure Arne Slot would want to bring in a right winger, somebody who is young and who can play when Mo Salah is injured or tired or just out of form. Harvey Elliott can play on the right wing, but he isn't a true right winger. Slot would still have Gakpo and Jota capable of playing on the left wing, even if Luis Diaz left Liverpool. I would love Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao, but I'm not sure if Bilbao would be willing to sell Nico Williams. But I think if a big enough offer is made, then any club would sell any player, in my opinion, if the offer is big enough. The only way that Liverpool should entertain the selling Luis Diaz is if we sign a replacement who is younger than Diaz and who is already almost as good or maybe even better than Luis Diaz. I think if you sold Diaz and signed Nico Williams, who can play on the right wing, I think a lot of Liverpool fans would be happy with that. But let's wait and see how this transfer window shakes out. I think a lot more transfers will start happening once the Euros and the Copa America tournament are concluded. So let's wait and see what happens next. Let me know what do you think about all these transfer stories in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.